Hello and welcome to the United Stand. It's Manchester United v Aston Villa live match reaction. Do get your comments in if you're watching live about what you thought about the game. I'm happy. It's 3 points. Aston Villa away from home. We struggled away from home against Aston Villa last season, only last Christmas, and Villa should have beaten us even with 10 men. We've taken 3 points. We've taken 6 points from 6. I'm really happy with that. I thought Januzaj was a shock. We said at lunchtime that we'd heard he thought he was going to play. He did play at number 10. And I was really pleased with that. He showed the composure of Frank Lampard in the dinner queue with that pass from Mata. Took his time, found the bottom corner. We were on top of them at the time, and then we sort of let them back in. But staying with the positives, I thought the back four was sensational. Hands up, us amongst others have had a go at Daley Blind saying he's not a centre back. Well, today did play very well. I was glad they didn't play Gustadi from the start because of his height and pace. But to be fair, when he did come on, Blind didn't stand out to me as doing anything, but sometimes as a defender, that is a good thing. He had a good game. Chris Smalling was better than him. For the first 20 minutes, actually, United started quite slowly, and Chris Smalling was absolutely fantastic. As cool as a 12-inch cucumber, he was winning absolutely everything. And Darmian and Shaw, I really do think, I know it's only 2 games in, but they look like the best fullbacks in the country at the moment. A flawless performance from them again. I know Gary Neville was moaning about the shirt pull from Darmian on Micah Richards, but when you're watching it back, Smalling's having his shirt pulled as well, so that's a non-event, a non-penalty. So yeah, really pleased with that. Schweinsteiger came on. I thought it was absolutely fantastic substitution from Louis Van Gaal. He gets a lot of stick, but 10 minutes into that second half, there was no penetration. We were slow, we were lazy, and he came in and he made those quick substitutions. He took Carrick and who did he take off? Carrick and Januzaj off, the goal scorer, and he brought Herrera and Schweinsteiger on, and our possession stats went through the roof because we got hold of the game. In fact, I tweeted out just before then, we need Schweinsteiger in this game because we need someone to get hold of the Man United team and give him a rocket up the arse. We'll come on to Rooney in a minute, but that's exactly what Rooney's job is. Rooney's job is not just to have a bad game like he did today, but he's the captain, and we were lazy, sloppy for a long parts of that game, but especially at the start of the second half, which allowed Villa to get going. Their crowd started to get go, like my dad at a Status Quo concert. It was rocking, and we were bad, and we had to bring Schweinsteiger on to get hold of that team. But I do think that positives-wise were that. I mean, Russell Howard says Rooney was the disappointed. We'll touch on that. Juan Mata was very, very good. I think Juan Mata's probably, in an attacking sense, he's got to be our first name on the sheet at the moment. He was good on the US tour for people who saw him there, and he was good last week, and he was very good today. His passing was brilliant. He was splitting their defence in two. Someone needed to call a doctor at times. It was that good. That pass through to Memphis in the second half, I'm going to use my quote again because I like it. He cut the defence in two like a chainsaw through a toffee crisp, and Memphis Depay should bury that every day of the week, and his confidence goes through the roof. Instead, he misses it, and Van Gaal takes him off again with about 10 minutes to go, and he's feeling a bit down. But next week against Club Brugge, hopefully Memphis will get a couple of goals and his confidence will go through the roof. He just seems to be lacking a bit of confidence at the moment, but Mata is absolutely fantastic. Kevin Fullerton says there that Rooney's done nothing in 2 games. Herrera and Bastion once again creating, says M. Carmichael. To be honest, I was worried until they came in, and then we just took hold of the game. I think we should stick with Januzaj, says Michael Schaus. Januzaj's mixed for me. There was a couple of times where he got the ball and ran into blind alleys like he did last season. But in that number 10 position, he was okay. I still think we've got to make signings. I don't know what you lot think, but back four was great for me. Romero, we still don't know whether he's a good keeper or not, because the back four, I mean, what chances did Villa have at our goal today? And what chances did Spurs have at our goal last week, apart from that Ericsson one where he ran through? We can moan about the defensive tactics of Manchester United, but actually you've got to stand up and say our defensive play and the back four has been really, really good. And Schneiderlin is protecting it well with, I suppose you could say, Carrick. I didn't think he was brilliant again today, but he did his job. And then Schweinsteiger comes on, and hopefully when he's fully fit, he'll play the whole games, because he really does take hold of that midfield, and we play a lot better with him in it. We need a striker urgently. We will touch on Rooney, but I wanted to touch on a couple of other things first of all. I don't want to be negative because it's 6 points from 6, and we should beat Newcastle next week at home. And if somebody said 9 points from 9, we'd be over the moon. Yes, we need to make changes. Yes, we need to make a couple of signings. But, credit where it's due. maybe we should look at these games and say we should be winning them. But last season we wouldn't. We had a lot easier start last season with Swansea, Burnley, and Sunderland, and we came out with 2 points already from Spurs and Aston Villa away. Spurs at home, we've got 6 points, and that's a harder start than last season. So credit where it's due. And actually, you know what? Louis van Gaal gets a lot of stick, and there is a lot of frustration with some United fans, not from this channel. I don't know what this rubbish is today that we're Louis van Gaal out. We put a question up yesterday saying, people, are you getting frustrated with Louis van Gaal? Because some fans were saying they were. I don't think anybody on this channel has ever said they want Louis van Gaal out, or we find some of his team selections a bit frustrating, but I think any United fan would. But, as I said at the time, his substitutions today to bring Herrera and Schweinsteiger on when we were losing control of the game was absolutely fantastic, and we killed the game then. So you can't moan about that, and you can't moan about the start to the season, and hopefully confidence is a massive thing. What I would say is that I think if any Manchester United fan thinks that we're going to start beating teams 2 or 3-0, it's not going to happen. It's not the way Louis van Gaal plays. He showed that last season. We're gradually getting into this groove of what he wants, but when we went 1-0 up against Aston Villa, we were absolutely dominating them. They were on their knees. And what did we do? We slowed the game down. We started playing the ball around the back. And we did that for about half an hour. And Aston Villa came back into the game. I think Louis van Gaal is a European manager. And I think when he gets ahead in games, he likes to kill the game. It doesn't fit in with the United blueprint. I know people don't like it when I say that. It's not the United way, but it's the Louis van Gaal way. And I think we're going to have to start getting used to it, because when he gets ahead in a game, he likes to kill the game with possession and not really go for it. So that's just something I think we're going to have to get used to. But it may well improve, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to moan too much about it, because I think winning here tonight, Aston Villa's first home game of the season, they were up for it. They're not a fantastic side, but that doesn't make any difference, because last year we would not have got the win, and we did. Blind is really proving the doubters wrong, says Paul McGrath. Apt name for a good centre-back. He had a good game today. Long term, I don't know whether he's that sort of player to play centre-back, but Blind, for me, I like Blind. I just don't think he's a centre-back, and I still stand by that. I think we need better than that, if it makes sense. But Chris Smalling alongside him, I think people underestimate that. Blind's job's a lot easier, because Smalling was colossal again, especially in the first half when we were a bit rocked. First 20 minutes, you expect that from Villa, and Chris Smalling was fantastic. If I had to go for a man of the match, I'd probably go with Juan Mata, because we want that, don't we? We want that offensive play. We want attacking football. So I'm going to go for Mata, just because that's what I want in the team. But I couldn't fault anybody going with the back four. I think Shaw and Darmian are absolutely sensational at fullback, and I think Blind and Smalling had a good game. And Schneiderlin's doing that role, isn't he? He's backing him up. MUFC Social, Martin, I said that last night. The Louis van Gaal way is here to stay, so we need to get used to it. I suppose that's touching on what I said, that this is what he'll do. 1-0 up under Sir Alex Ferguson, and I'm not going back into the past or other teams in the Premier League, maybe your Man Cities, certainly your Arsenals, they would go for the second goal, because the second goal was there against Aston Villa. But Louis van Gaal doesn't do that. He goes, no, right, let's defend what we've got and play possession. I don't like it. Hopefully it will get better. I do not like it. There's a lot of people saying today's game was boring and a waste of 3 hours. I don't know about that. I mean, I enjoy watching Manchester United at all times, and I'm happy that we've got 6 points. I mean, you look at Arsenal, they've got 1 point at the moment. Chelsea, no, they've got no points. Chelsea have got 1 point. So, by next week, if we've got 9 points, got a nice cushion. Confidence is the key. And somebody like Pedro, fingers crossed, if we can get him in, would make a big difference. But let's have a look at some of my notes there, what I've got. The rocket up the arse, top management substitutions, tactics, we've touched on that. Depay and Rooney, I do want to touch on them in a moment. And like I said, scissor hands, Bruni. Yeah, we'll touch on that in a moment. But yeah, so then Depay and Rooney. Rooney was getting a hell of a lot of stick, wasn't he, in that half, in that game? He's not good. He struggled last season. He is our captain. I said at the start of the season that I back Rooney to get 20 goals this season. I still think that with Rooney, he can do it. So I'm going to say that. But he looks woefully off the pace. He looked off the pace in the US tour, and he looks off the pace again. That touch he took against Spurs last week, he didn't need to take it. And today he seems to want to take an extra touch to everybody else. He's not in the groove, and he's not up to pace yet. It is the start of the season, and Rooney is well known for taking time to get into his groove. 3 or 4 games time, he hopefully will be in that groove. He'll be naturally doing things, but you can tell when Rooney's not in the groove. His touch is bad. Like I said, in the first half, there was a couple of balls that he was showing the compose. It was like Edward Scissorhands playing with a pair of tits. It was that dangerous, his first touch. But I think he will get better. What worries me, and I'll keep saying it, is I don't think he's the captain of the team. Today, I don't care about what Rooney does. I still think he'll get the 20 goals, and I still back Rooney. But as a captain, in the first 15 minutes of the second half, we needed a rocket up the arse. There were so many sloppy passes. We were letting Villa back into the team, back into it, and Villa are not a good side. We needed, we're lamenting to unrealistic levels here, but we needed like a Vidic, a Keane, or someone like that, just to get hold of the team. And Rooney's so struggling with his own form, he can't then get hold of the team. And Memphis as well. Is he trying too hard? Didn't do him any good playing at number 10. Much preferred him out on the wing today. They did double up on him, but there were glimpses there that he will come good. And I am still convinced that he's going to be a really good signing. I mean, some people were getting on his back saying he's a bit of a flop already, and his free kicks are bad. You can see naturally that he's got the pace and the skill to do it. It's just going to take a little bit of time. Eden Hazard didn't hit the ground running with Chelsea, and I do put Memphis potentially in that bracket. That I do think he'll get there. He just needs that little bit of luck and hopefully confidence, and hopefully that will come from the Club Brugge game. Let's have a look at some of your comments then. All the commentators, sorry, it's moved off there. Let's have a look. Matthew Pickett, all the commentators saying Januzaj should be played and trusted as a number 10. 100% agree, it's his position and he does it brilliantly there. You know what? That was one of the things I wanted to touch on. Ashley Young being dropped, I was quite surprised about. Louis van Gaal has this obsession, not with just Ashley Young, but also playing them against their old team because he thinks they do well. I was surprised to see him dropped. I thought if Januzaj was going to play when this rumour broke at lunchtime, it would be Mata who dropped out, which would have been a farce. Where Januzaj came from, though, he's obviously had a good week in training because he wasn't even on the bench last week. Pereira was brilliant on the US tour. Januzaj comes in, Young moves to the bench, and Pereira's out on his arse. I don't know about that, but Januzaj got the winning goal, so you can't complain about that. And if he's done well in training, fair enough. And Louis van Gaal definitely likes Januzaj because he gave him 4 games in a row last November, and he was absolutely dreadful. So Januzaj's got to step up to the plate, and I think Louis van Gaal will give him more time. Januzaj just needs to bulk up a bit and not get knocked off the ball a lot. But he had a good, I'd give him a 6 out of 10 today. He got the goal. He did okay. But I thought the substitution was right because I thought we were getting dominated. Fons Groot, Memphis just needs games. With games comes confidence. Rooney, on the other hand, has no excuse being the captain, has loads of experience with the club. Yeah, I'm not getting on Rooney's back. I think he will get the goals. He's just not in his groove, and people who've watched United for years will know what Rooney's like. He does take a while. That's why we don't want him getting sent off or picking up injuries, because when he comes back, it takes him 3 or 4 games to get into it. I expect him to get better. And one of the big signs about Rooney not being in his groove is when his first touch is bad, and his first touch is awful at the moment. But the big thing I've always said about Rooney, I don't think the captaincy does him any good. And at the end of the day, Schweinsteiger came on and he took over that team. You know, if Schweinsteiger's on the pitch, he doesn't actually need to have the armband. He's running the team anyway. But Rooney, with that responsibility, there was nobody else running that team, and he just doesn't do it for me at the moment. John IET, is Marcus Schweinsteiger from this planet? You know what? He isn't, is he? He's absolutely sensational. You know, people might not realise what he's doing, but he just took hold of that game. Januzaj being pushed around too much, needs to bulk up, like Mark says Floatsman. Yeah, I think he does. He's a young lad, but it's encouraging that he played today, and it's encouraging that Memphis didn't get stuck in the number 10 position. And you know what? I can't fault Louis van Gaal today. I don't like the way we play. I know it isn't very attacking. We got 1-0 up. I think teams like Man City would have beat Villa 3 or 4-0 today, and that's how I want United to play. But Louis van Gaal isn't that coach. We got 1-0 up. He shut up shop. It was a bit risky for the first 10 minutes of the second half, but then we made those substitutions and we had some good chances, and Memphis should score that goal, and then it's 2-0, it's over. So we did it in fits and spurts, but I'm pleased. I'm really pleased with the 6 points, and I'm really pleased with our back four, because how long is it since Manchester United have had a good midfield and a good back four that you've got some confidence in? And with that setup, it works really well. And you think about it, Rooney's woefully off form. Memphis has got no confidence. Matt is absolutely brilliant at the moment. We're not going to create a lot of chances when we've got a really misfiring Rooney up front who can't hold the ball up, and Memphis is lacking confidence. But Club Brugge could be perfect, actually. Let's try and play that same team again and build some confidence. That's what I think, anyway. George CD, Herrera came on with Schweini. Both need praise because they automatically put us back on the top, which is they did. And Pedro to be decided if he's coming to United in the next few hours, apparently. Well, they are playing at the moment, aren't they? So we'll keep an eye on that. There will be a reaction video. over the weekend if that actually happens. Pedro signing, I hope it does happen. It'll be a positive, won't it? I did want to just touch very quickly on that. There's been some rumours today about Otamendi and Pedro and Manchester City and them chucking the money at us. And what I said earlier is that the big difference with Manchester City is they've got an owner who will throw money around like confetti. Unfortunately, we've got owners who think the money is theirs. It's our money. It's our club. All the money comes from the fans, whether it's sponsorship or not. Sponsors won't pay for anything at Manchester United if it wasn't for us fans buying stuff like this. So it's our money that make Manchester United. It's our club. Unfortunately, Manchester United is run as a business, and when the Glaziers or whoever's in charge get £800 million from an Adidas deal, £400 million from Chevrolet, to be honest, they're thinking about profits in their back pocket, and that's why we're bartering on instalments of £20 million for Pedro, when actually it should be loose change and we should get it done. So that's my thought on it. I think, you know, we're always going to struggle because we make more money than anybody, and that's very credible, and we make it from us. But we've got owners who want to put it in their back pocket. Man City are a mercenary club. They don't make their own money, but they have got an owner who will just chuck money at the club. What would you prefer? I'd prefer us, but the money to be run by fans and spent properly. What do we need? We need Pedro. We need a defender. And we need somebody to back Rooney up, because Rooney's poor today. He should come off, but you can't put Hernandez on. I keep saying this. I like Hernandez, but you bring Hernandez on, we're not putting balls into the box again, are we? We're not creating chances for our forward again. So Hernandez is an absolute waste of time. He's not good at closing the ball down. He's not good at holding the ball up. It'd be no improvement on Rooney. So we need to buy somebody. Thomas Muller would be fantastic, but I'm positive. And I tell you what, we've got Newcastle at home next week, next Saturday lunchtime. They're not a good team. We're at home. We can only get better. We should beat Club Brugge on Tuesday, have some confidence, beat them. 9 points from 3 games. What's to complain about? We've got to improve. And I tell you what, I don't think Romero's a very good goalkeeper either. He's done all right. He's an average goalkeeper, but we're doing all this without our goalkeeper. The De Gea thing's interesting. He needs to sod off. We need to get somebody else in. I think De Gea's gone past the point of no return. You don't know who to believe at the end of the day. He's saying he wanted to play today. Leo Van Gaal's saying the other. I think the writing's on the wall. I think we've had we've been backed into a corner by De Gea, to be honest, because we played hardball about Ramos. And you know what? Ramos and De Gea were very similar. Ramos is now signing a new contract because they've chucked money at him. He probably wanted to come to United, but they've chucked money at him. De Gea never wanted to stay here. He's never going to sign a contract. So we're over a barrel now to Madrid because they know full well we're going to have to get rid of him, and we're probably not going to get a lot of money for him. And that's all because of De Gea. And I don't care what anybody says who's backing him. De Gea has us over a barrel all summer, and he's got to go. But positive, absolutely positive, fantastic back four, brilliant display from Mata, some really good substitutions from Louis van Gaal, and a positive 3 points away from home, which we wouldn't have done that last season. And next week we should be beating Newcastle. We've got 9 points on the table, and that is a fantastic start. And hopefully we're going to bring some players in. So yeah, it might have been boring. Yeah, it might not have been fantastic, but let's take the positives for once. We'll be back on 9 o'clock on Sunday with our weekend review. More digest of this, and hopefully some transfer news as well. And we should hopefully hit 10,000 subscribers, and we'll be giving away either the home shirt, the away shirt, or one of these if you want to somebody. Go to theunitedstand.com on the fan forum. There's a £10,000 subscriber giveaway. You can see how to do that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Help us over 10,000 subscribers. Like the video, comment below if you're not live, and we always reply to that. And let's be positive. You know, people have been worried about Manchester United, saying we're negative. We're not negative. Fans are just worried and passionate about what they want from their club. But you know what, today? Yeah, there were a few negatives. Yeah, we shouldn't have shut up shop. Yeah, we don't look like scoring a second goal because we do go too defensive. But we've got 6 points, and there are a lot of positives. And I do believe Rooney will click in. He's off form at the moment, but I do believe he'll click in. And when he does, that makes us even stronger. And when Memphis has got his confidence, it makes us even stronger. So absolutely fantastic. Zane Charles, what do you think of West Ham United as a team? It's not for now, mate. If I pulled her around and she ended up in bed, do you think I'd scrutinise how she got there? I don't know. And on that bombshell, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. We will be live with the Pedro signing hopefully tomorrow. Fingers crossed. If not, we're back at 9 o'clock on with our live show with Anna presenting and the rest of the guests. So do get involved in that. It's the United Stand. It is your channel. Thanks to everybody for watching. Let's be positive. You know what? I've really enjoyed the Friday night thing as well, because our weekend is over. We can sit back and watch everybody else with maximum points. Fantastic. Thanks for watching. The United Stand, your channel.